during the dating process, a lot of women don't like to ask questions because they want to feel like they're okay with everything. And whatever you do, and it's all right, it don't make no difference as long as when you're with me, you treat me well, da-da-da-da. And I think that might have been a little problematic for my marriage.
When MC Lyte pulled the plug on her marriage to John Witch, people weren't shocked about the divorce. They were shocked it lasted as long as it did. From the jump, fans whispered that their photos together looked staged, like the smiles were painted on, and neither of them seemed fully invested. Now here's where it gets messy. Insiders claim the whole marriage was a double life situation. Some fans even admitted they were stunned she married a man in the first place, with gossip swirling for years about who she really vibes with behind closed doors. That's got folks asking, was her true orientation the unspoken wedge that split them apart? Or was it John who lit the match, allegedly creeping with other women while still rocking that wedding band? Either way, the word on the street is this wasn't your typical we grew apart divorce. This was scandal, secrets, and possible betrayal playing out in real time. Here's a wild detail a lot of people forget. MC Lyte didn't meet John White through some music industry connection or Hollywood circle. Nope. The two actually crossed paths on Match.com. A few months later, things moved fast, and by August 2017, they were in Jamaica saying "I do" at a glamorous Montego-based ceremony that looked straight out of a magazine. But the fairy tale barely made it past the honeymoon phase. In 2020, just 3 years later, Lyte filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. And here's the kicker. While the marriage technically lasted 3 years, insiders claim the separation happened within the first 5 months. That means behind all the glossy photos and tropical wedding vibes, cracks were already showing before anyone even had time to blink. MC Lyte later admitted the split tore her up inside. She described being completely distraught in those early days, saying that when a marriage starts crumbling, the first instinct is to fight desperately to save it, not just for yourself, but for everyone else who believed in it. Friends, family, fans, all those people who stood smiling at her lavish island wedding suddenly became another layer of pressure. But eventually, reality hit hard. This wasn't a storm they were going to weather. Lyte came to terms with the painful truth. The marriage wasn't built to last, and no amount of effort or outside expectations could change that. When the news first leaked, the headlines made it sound like MC Lyte was already free and clear, but that wasn't the case at all. She later explained that when the press caught wind of her filing, she was still knee-deep in the process. The ink wasn't dry, and the drama was far from over. Lyte admitted those early days were brutal, confessing she struggled to even process what was happening. But as time went on, she gained clarity. She realized happiness doesn't always mean staying together. And just because a marriage ends, it doesn't mean you're a failure. According to her, clinging to something broken usually has more to do with ego than love, and the real strength is found in walking away. That shift in mindset became her power move. For Lyte, the mission stopped being about forcing a dead relationship back to life. Instead, it was about securing peace, not just for herself, but also for John. She wanted them both to move forward without bitterness. But that's easier said than done. The biggest twist? That divorce process dragged on for 3 long years because White allegedly dragged his feet and refused to sign those papers. So while the world assumed it was over quickly, behind closed doors, Lyte was locked in a drawn-out battle just to untangle herself. A glamorous wedding in Jamaica turned into a divorce marathon, with Lyte pushing for freedom while John reportedly held on tight. Even though Lyte played it classy and kept most of the divorce details private, the streets were buzzing with talk of betrayal. Whispers claimed her husband wasn't just unfaithful. People said he was living a whole double life while married to a hip-hop icon. Rumors swirled that John was stepping out on her, and the whispers only got louder as the split dragged on. But that wasn't the only scandal tied to his name. Some sources went as far as saying John had plans to swindle Lyte out of her fortune. Think about it. When she filed for divorce, blogs lit up with speculation that her ex was allegedly plotting to dip into her hard-earned coins. The idea of someone trying to drain MC Lyte's bag had fans fuming, and the narrative painted John as a man who might have been playing both sides, emotionally and financially. Now, Lyte never aired the full play-by-play of what truly went down, but she did break her silence on one thing, shutting down those internet rumors claiming John was out here plotting to steal from her. She didn't give messy details, but she made it clear she wasn't about to let her legacy, her music, and her grind be reduced to gossip about some man allegedly chasing her pockets. In 2023, MC Lyte finally set the record straight on Instagram, making it crystal clear that her divorce was not some courtroom war. She flat out denied the rumors, writing that John never tried to snatch her assets or drain her bank account. And when she sat down with the Breakfast Club, she doubled down, breaking down exactly how her money really came in. According to Lyte, the real bread didn't come from record sales, it came from the grind of touring. She explained, "When I started touring, that's when I started making money. But even then, the hustle wasn't glamorous." She painted a raw picture of her early days, buying her first house, spending so much furnishing it that she couldn't even afford curtains. She laughed about putting sheets on the windows until her manager came by and gave the okay to keep pushing forward. It wasn't until her next tour that she finally had enough to finish the home. That honesty showed fans that even legends like Lyte had to struggle and budget while chasing the dream. She used that same interview to shine a light on a darker side of the industry too. Despite selling over 1 million records, Lyte admitted she never got the compensation she deserved from publishing royalties. She stressed that music is full of ups and downs, and she could only hope the younger generation is stacking wisely. Her words cut through the rumors, showing she wasn't broke, wasn't swindled, and wasn't naive. But they also exposed just how much this business can shortchange even the biggest names. Lyte made it clear she wasn't walking away from her marriage empty-handed, and not because she fought for it, but because she had already protected herself. She revealed that she kept her entire music catalog, all her royalties, and her personal assets thanks to a rock-solid prenuptial agreement. In her own words, Lyte said, "When the whole divorce thing happened, I just saw all this stuff saying he was trying to get this, or that I got to keep. It wasn't like that. He was never trying to do that. We had a prenup." She even added that John had his own assets, and she was more than happy to stay out of his business. From the jump, they both agreed a prenup would settle everything if things ever fell apart. And that's exactly what saved her from becoming another headline about messy celebrity divorces. But while she thought the prenup would keep things clean, the rumor mill didn't stop spinning. Blogs and fans twisted the narrative into something juicier, painting John as a man who tried to snatch her fortune. Lyte admitted she hated how the story kept taking that turn, but she wasn't surprised. Scandal sells clicks, and even with her setting the record straight, whispers still followed her. People online refused to drop the allegations that John was living a double life and cheating on Lyte. So while the prenup shut down any money grabs, the gossip about infidelity kept her name swirling in the drama. But here's where the story takes a sharp turn, because some folks weren't even focused on John at all. What really shocked people was that MC Lyte married a man in the first place. For years, the gossip mill has churned with whispers that Lyte might be bisexual at best, with endless speculation that she and Queen Latifah once shared more than just friendship. Now let's be clear, neither of them has ever confirmed anything beyond sisterhood, but fans never stop dissecting their bond. The two women have always been inseparable, and Lyte herself admitted their connection ran deep. She openly said they had complete transparency and trust, the kind of relationship where they could talk about absolutely anything without fear of being misunderstood. That kind of closeness only fueled the chatter. Lyte even crowned Latifah with respect, calling her, "My sister, the queen." She credited Latifah with single-handedly shifting the way every female MC approaches the business, showing them their worth and changing how the world views women in hip-hop. In her Essence interview, Lyte looked back on those early years with pride, saying Latifah stood out from day one. "Right from the start, we were inseparable." She had this vibrancy artistically. Latifah was free. So much of that is because of her mother. Her mother gave her wings to fly. Powerful words, yes, but they also poured gasoline on the speculation fire. Fans have always wondered if that inseparable bond might have crossed into something deeper, something intimate. And let's not forget, Queen Latifah herself has faced non-stop questions about her own sexuality, with people pointing to certain on-screen roles and personal choices as subtle clues. So while Lyte was fighting rumors about John's alleged double life, she was also caught in a second wave of chatter, whispers about her own truth, her connection to Latifah, and whether her marriage was doomed from the start because her heart might have been elsewhere. Take Queen Latifah's breakout role and set it off as an example. She played Cleo, a bold, unapologetic lesbian bank robber with a masculine edge, and she delivered it so convincingly that people started questioning whether the character reflected her real life. The performance was so raw, so authentic, that Hollywood and hip-hop circles alike couldn't stop whispering about her sexuality. But here's the thing. In those early stages of her career, Latifah chose silence. She never addressed the chatter, and that silence only poured more fuel on the fire. Fans tied those rumors straight back to her friendship with MC Lyte, spinning theories that the two were more than just close collaborators. Over the years, both women have been asked about it directly, and in her 2024 interview on The Breakfast Club, Lyte finally laid it all out. She emphasized that their friendship has always been about transparency and trust, saying they look out for each other to avoid misunderstandings. And when asked point blank about the relationship rumors, Lyte shut it down hard. Never was right. Still, Lyte admitted something surprising. Those whispers did get under her skin in the beginning. She confessed that the constant speculation about her sexuality made her uncomfortable, until she reached a point where she stopped caring. Okay, that's how you want to see me? Fine, but that's not all of who I am. That was her way of reclaiming power. Lyte also acknowledged that while certain things may have happened in her personal life, outsiders had no right to box her in or slap labels on her identity. She explained that coming up young in the industry meant being forced into roles and expectations that made others comfortable, even if it meant suffocating who the artist really was. In other words, the rumors never defined her, but they did show just how quick the world is to create a narrative, whether it's true or not. Trapped in a web of expectations that never truly matched her reality, MC Lyte admitted people constantly questioned her authenticity. Some doubted she could present herself the way she did and still genuinely be interested in men. But Lyte fired back, saying she was actually far more traditional than anyone might assume. She revealed that her choice to marry wasn't for show. It came from a deep belief in the sanctity of marriage and partnership. And when that union crumbled, she admitted the devastation was real. Behind the strong, legendary MC persona was a woman who simply wanted love, commitment, and stability. That vulnerability gave people a new perspective, but it didn't stop the rumor mill. Beyond the chatter about Queen Latifah, there were also whispers linking Lyte to none other than Jada Pinkett Smith. Yes, that Jada. Speculation about intimacy between the two has floated for years, though nothing has ever been confirmed. Meanwhile, Lyte has moved on in a much more grounded way. In early 2023, she hard-launched her relationship with tech professional Aaron Johnson, silencing all the noise with a man who insiders say reflects the best version of her growth. Lyte herself admitted she believes she attracted him by becoming a better version of who she already was. And she's been very open about being in love again. But don't expect another island wedding anytime soon. Both Lyte and Aaron have been through marriage and divorce before, so they're not racing back down the aisle. Instead, they're enjoying their bond on their own terms, steady, grown, and drama-free. For Lyte, this chapter isn't about proving anything to outsiders. It's about finally finding balance in love without the labels, rumors, or industry narratives weighing her down. Even though MC Lyte made it clear she isn't sprinting down the aisle, she did tease that marriage is still on the table. But here's where things get real spicy. Fans who remember her 1993 hit Roughneck were stunned because Aaron Johnson is nothing like the bad boy image she once hyped in her music. According to Lyte, he's her complete opposite. Her family's reaction said it all. When they met Aaron, they were shocked, calling him a ray of sunshine, and a total departure from the rugged type they expected her to bring home. Lyte herself admitted it was an adjustment at first, being with someone so different from her past choices. But over time, she embraced it, confessing she loves the softer side of life he's introduced her to. In her words, being with him makes everything feel right on the inside. And from all accounts, the feeling was mutual. But just when it looked like Lyte had finally stepped into her happily ever after, fans noticed something strange. She wiped a lot of their photos off her Instagram. That move instantly reignited speculation. Are they still together, or did things quietly fizzle out? To make the plot even thicker, voices online have been getting louder, urging Lyte to just be true to herself. A loaded statement considering the years of gossip surrounding her relationships, her marriage, and her sexuality. And at this point, the question lingers louder than ever. Who was really living the double life here? Lyte, her ex-husband, or maybe both? At the end of the day, MC Lyte's story is bigger than just a failed marriage or a messy rumor mill. It's about a woman caught between her public image, her private truth, and the narratives people keep trying to write for her. From whispers of her ex-husband's double life, to speculation about Queen Latifah, to the shock of her new love with Aaron Johnson, Lyte has lived through it all under the brightest spotlight. And here's the kicker. After all these years, fans are still debating the same question. Who's the real MC Lyte when the cameras stop rolling? Is she the traditional woman who fought for her marriage? The pioneer who refuses to be boxed in by labels? Or the icon still guarding secrets the world may never truly know? One thing's for sure. Her journey proves that love, power, and legacy in hip-hop come with a price. And whether you believe the rumors or not, this saga shows there's always more happening behind the music than anyone realizes. Stick with BarzBuzz, because the tea doesn't stop here, and you know we'll keep bringing you every twist, turn, and truth bomb that shakes the culture.